graphics, and here we go. So, number 000, that's going to be, oh my god. Number 42, Lieutenant Dan. Number 4, Fish. Number 6, Rufio. Number 1, London Giovanni. 100, Alien Al. 15, Peter Parker. 17, Quadrakill. 187, Veggie Prey. 1997, Cloud Strike. 24, Smack Power. 672, Gazuka. 747, Scooby Zoo. 805, Hugo Boss. Marek, King Crazy. And Mai as their bench and line. And here's Tyne Fear.
And we're Tyne Fear with number 0, Barnabash. Number 1, Dark Matter. Number 13, Pablo Diablo. Number 42, Badam. Number 44, Kemi Kensi. Number 46, Blockbed. Number 50, Bull. Number 511, Gay Fox. Number 6, Georgie Bear. Number 8, Sparky. Number 80, Adsynth. Number 82, Dog. Number 83, Nicholas Rage. And number 9, Moo. I have to say that I'm pretty much excited about that game, right?
This is for me is I mean, I've spoken to both teams, and many skaters will believe that this really is their tournament final. They believe they win this game, they can almost guarantee themselves a place in Cardiff.
Yeah, that's what everybody's waiting to have a place in Cardiff secure for next October. We are a bit 1 minute away from this before the start of the game. Remember that you can shout out to your favorite players and your favorite people in roller derby on that game using the hashtag MEQ on Twitter.
And I have been specifically asked by a few of the end of your skaters to say hello to their people at home. As a shout out to Lieutenant Dan's wife, Karina, also known as Selena Vile, and of course to Roseblade's wife, sat at home watching. So Rebecca, hello to you as well.
And I'm sure that people in Manchester hope that it's going to be a Joy Division on their face. At the end of the game. I've planned for that joke for ages, I have to tell you.
Hoping to get a Manchester game just to get that one joke out. Okay, we've got skaters lining up. Scooby Zoo right back at the jammer. This is something New World Order have tried a couple of times this time with a pivot right behind, well, right in front of their jammer, as we have 05 Fish versus Dark Matter number 1.
We know that the first game is always quite important to set the pace of the game. Here we are, the game has started, and for the moment, Dark Matter is a bit ahead, but facing the strong defense, lead jammer but being recycled at the back of the pack. Lead jammer position for Dark Matter.
But Fish is now in the front of the pack. He's on the chest of Nicholas Rage. Nicholas Rage and sparking from Fish out front, but not lead, as you're aware. Dark Matter's lead.
And Dark Matter will score the first point of the game for Newcastle.
So he was still on his initial pass there. He got recycled back, so no points.
No points, yeah. Yeah, sorry. That's okay.
He's been indicated by his bench manager to keep going, so maybe they're just trying to tire out what they assume might be a tired New World Order.
And Dark Matter is getting information on the track, lifting his arms, but he seems to be ready to continue the jam. No, he calls that off.
Pretty much wasting time there. I think they were trying to build a gamesmanship, maybe to take advantage of what they assume might be some tiredness from the earlier game for New World Order.
It is going to be a very tense game. You see, Dark Matter didn't score any points, and he was getting the very last information to see whether it was best for him to pull up.
Yeah.
All the details are going to matter for that game.
It's going to be one of those games where it will be the simplest, finite, tiniest decisions that make the most impact. Do we have Alien Al starting for the day opposite Moo?
Alien Al wasn't playing on the first game.
No, he wasn't. Oh, lovely screen there from Yorkie Bear on the inside line. Gets lead jammer for Moo. Alien Al had been recycled all the way to the back. Bit of a screen there from Oh My God at the back. Alien Al with 3 in front of him to beat. Yorkie Bear is now on the chest of Barnabash.
This is the second lead jammer position in a row for Newcastle. And Moo is fighting his way through the pack on the outside. Doesn't work, so he gets on the inside, but back on the outside again. But good defending from Manchester on that one.
Yeah, Oh My God, putting in a lot of work here. And Veggie Prey, they're just popping off on the inside edge of corner 4 and forcing the recycle all the way back to corner 3. Alien L still only got one to beat Sparky, who finally makes his way through. Gay Fawkes heads to the bin for the first penalty of the game.
Good job by Omagad fighting with Moo on that jam number 2, and Moo is in a way forced to call off that jam with the strong defending from Omagad from Manchester. Points scored
Finally
on the second jam by Newcastle, leading 4-0 now. And we're going to have number 1-3 Pablo Diablo for Newcastle Tyne Fear.
Yeah, versus 0-4-2 Lieutenant Dam. I'm a big Pablo Diablo fan. He is unique in the jam. He's unconventional, but he's incredibly effective.
Well, he made a wonderful first game this morning. And let's see whether he's going to have the same pace. And it's a lead jammer position for Lieutenant Dan. The first lead jammer position for Manchester on that game.
They need to pick up some points here to regain control, which they do with a lovely step across the inside. As the jam referee Shugs Bunny indicates 5 and a lead change.
You were right. He seems to be on fire on that game. On jam number 3, Lieutenant Dan is leading. The outside is kind of blocked by number 50 Bull, but Lieutenant Dan managed to find his way through the pack to score more points again for Manchester.
This is going to be a very, very disciplined display, I believe, from both teams. If they lose that discipline here, they could very quickly lose this game.
That's what it's all about in roller derby, discipline. Lieutenant Dan is still inning, allowing Manchester for the moment to lead at the scoreboard, but the jam is not over, and this time it is over with Lieutenant Dan calling that jam off with 2 more points in the pocket for the New World Order, leading now 12-8.
Pablo Diablo picking a 4-point pass in there. Here we have another very interesting jammer in number 44, Kami Kenzie. He is what I would refer to as a high-risk, high-reward jammer. He is phenomenal running the inside line. His footwork is fantastic. He's up against Rufio. He's a very, very talented jammer in his own right. This will be a very interesting competition. There we go. It's just like that, right
just
across
like that.
the line.
Do you think it can have a consequence on the game? The fact that Manchester has already played a game this morning, they might be a bit more physically affected that Tyne Fear, right?
It is very potentially going to be an issue. The heat that was in this venue, very draining. I think that dehydration could have had some impact as well as some tiredness in there. But
we had to mention the weather conditions here. We will have many impacts on the players' health.
Yeah, well, I've done nothing all day. I've already drank 2 liters of water.
Definitely.
So this is very important. Not just the heat, but also the humidity.
And this is a call for Mackenzie. 2 more points.
As Nicholas Reid brings a tote bag into the track, which attached to his wheel. Rufio still in the box, but standing, so he should be back on track in less than 10 seconds.
And we have another lead change. Tyne Fear is leading again, 15-12.
This is the thing. We're going to know to be very, very close all throughout this game.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of lead changes, I believe. And this is a power start.
Yes, power start.
This is a power start. Dark Matter is in a power start situation for Tyne Fear, taking the lead but being recycled right after that.
Again, same thing happened in the first jam for Dark Matter. And he's given up a lot of weight here to Hugo Boss, and now Don Giovanni. Just slowing right down. Rufio comes from the back, screaming through. Good last kick block attempt there by Sparky, but he goes out himself.
And Dark Matter saw that. That's why he decides to call off that jam.
Wonderful thing. Dark Matter, very, very intelligent jammer. Very, very game aware of what's going on. So expect to make a lot of good decisions.
No points scored on that jam. The players seem to be so much focused at the very beginning of that game.
This is it. As I said, they both know this is their final. They win this game, they put themselves in the driver's seat for getting to the final. I mean, if New World Order win this game, they just have to beat either Lincoln or Toulouse to make it, really.
Yeah, but the thing is that when you are so focused right at the beginning of the game with this weather condition, you can wonder whether it's going to last on that game because it requires so much energy.
Oh, it really does. But this is the thing. Both these teams are obviously training incredibly hard for this. So they're going to be giving almost everything they can.
Moo is leading that one against Fish.
But Fish is very fast and he's not giving him an inch.
Tyne Fear has controlled the jam on the 3 last ones. Seem to have a little bit of a grip on that game, but still no points scored. We will never underline the importance when you are a jammer, not in the lead jammer position, to get out of the back rather quickly to put pressure on the lead jammer.
You're almost more important than the blockers at that stage to protecting points. But the real reason for that change there was gave Fawkes to a penalty, and he was the last blocker at that stage, and gave a chance to rush forward and leave them all at the back, put the pressure on. Down versus Pablo Diablo again?
Yeah, and you're right, you mentioned that 2 players down for Tyne in the penalty box, so maybe more room for Lieutenant Dam to get the lead jammer position for Manchester, and this is exactly what he does. Lead jammer for Manchester.
Yep. But Pablo Diablo is no slouch, and he's making everyone look. He is crumbling that brace 3 every time. And trying to take the momentum away from Pablo Diablo is a very difficult task.
Oh, really nice skating from Lieutenant Dam. Skating, you saw it on the outside, then on the inside. Yeah. To score more points for Manchester. And we will have another lead change on the scoreboard.
But it also has a star pass from Pablo Diablo to Barnabash, who's now on the inside edge of corners 1 and 2, before he puts the star back on. Nicholas Rage picking up a penalty there as well. He's heading to them. Team Netherlands captain Nicholas Rage, that is.
Yep. I believe this is the first star pass of the game to Barnabash.
Yeah.
And Lieutenant Dam saw it, immediately called that off. And 9 points scored for Manchester, now leading 21-15 for Newcastle.
For any of you playing that famous drinking game of drinking for every lead change, I do not recommend you do it for this game. It will be close until the final whistle.
Exactly, you're right. 9 points in the last jam, 21 for Manchester. It's going to be Ali now, I think, for Manchester versus Kenzie.
Both jammers here, very, very tidy footwork. It is very much going to be a very key role for who can hold that one. As Kenzie takes the inside line, and there it is. As I said, high risk but high reward. When he gets it right, it's amazing.
It's a power jam situation for Manchester, and Newcastle hasn't scored within the last 3 jams. This is clearly maybe the start of a momentum for Manchester on that one. Lead jammer position for Ali now, the 1-0-0. Second lead jammer position in a row for Manchester, and Ali now out of the pack. Scored 5 more points, a grand slam for the Manchester jammer.
Newcastle really needs to be careful in these situations to keep their head. If they get sloppy, they could very much give themselves blocker disadvantage as well as the power jam.
A good situation here for Manchester. The blocks are quite solid, and now seems to have a bit of difficulties to get out of the pack. Mackenzie is back from the penalty box as he has entered the scoring trip now.
Yeah, as I said, he just ran that inside line fantastically.
And it's going to be a penalty box for Alan Al.
I believe it was a misconduct. I saw an arm across the chest. I'm not sure if it was a strike.
I think it's a misconduct.
He may have been in the air when he engaged on someone. He does bounce around quite a lot. But he should leave the jam before the end.
That means that we're going to go until the very end of that jam, since Alina has lost the benefits from the lead jammer position. It's going to be a long and tiring 2-minute jam on that jam number 8. And Kenzie, the only one on track, able to score points, shouldering his way through, but good defending. And Mackenzie passes to score another grand slam for Newcastle.
Hugo Boss playing the game at the inside of the corners 1 and 2. Doesn't want to give a goat situation. Big shoulder check from Smack Bauer on the straightaway there, if you saw that one, knocking Bull to the ground.
And 10 points for Manchester, and now to 31, and 5 points for Newcastle to 20. It's kind of a relief for Newcastle since they haven't scored for the previous 3 jams, so it's a bit of a new breath of air for Newcastle.
For those of you watching at home, you're missing King Crazy going to the middle. He does do this quite a lot. He's very, very interested in a lot of the decisions the referees make. Giovanni, at the front there with Scooby Zoom and Quadrical trying to hold up Dark Matter. Moving around as Rufio.
Dark Matter, lead jammer, and Rufio sent to the penalty box for cutting. This is the 3rd power jam in a row for Newcastle.
Yeah, again, those high-risk moves, when they pay off well, but when they don't, they are problematic.
Yeah, the 2nd power jam in a row for Newcastle. And Dark Matter has already scored points for Tyne Fear, now entering and is in the second scoring trip for the Black and Yellows. And calling that jam off.
I would be remiss not to inform you it's black and gold. They're very important. They don't like
they're very golden.
Yeah, it's gold.
It's not like in Pittsburgh, it's not black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
Well, that is the crash test Brummies of Birmingham were in black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
Sorry, I'm just being French. 7 points for Tyne Fear, now leading to, not leading, but approaching Manchester. 27 for Newcastle, 31 for Manchester.
Blocker advantage to New World Order as Gay Fawkes is in the bin.
It's Moo jamming for Tyne Fear.
Moo tries to take the outside edge, shut down by Veggie Cray. 3 wall still in front of Moo, Cloud Strike, Veggie Cray, Peter Parkter. Moo taking all the momentum out, but he's very slow now as he's in that stuck brace 3.
Oh, look at this wonderful tripod from Manchester for the moment, preventing Moo. Good assist from Nicholas Rage, opening the gates on the outside, but immediately reforming the pack.
Oh!
Very good defending on Moo.
Powerful block.
Yeah, but Moo managed to pass.
It was illegal. He was an illegal block.
Second lead jammer position in a row for Newcastle. Oh, once again, Veggie Cray getting Moo out.
Veggie Cray with the patented big shoulder. He rotates 180 with it and flips you off track. It's a very, very useful skill he has.
And once again, Veggie Cray with his hips this time, getting Moo out, and Moo is back to fight.
Rufio slips under and makes his way out for not lead jammer. Moo still yet to complete his scoring pass. As I say it, he does.
And once again, the good assist from Nicholas Rage, allowing Moo to pass on the inside of turn 4. How many points are going to be scored for Tyne Fear? Let's see that.
5?
5 points and no points for Manchester, and it's another lead change. 32 for Tyne Fear, 31 for Manchester.
Yeah, Nicholas Rage here showing exactly why he is captain of Team Netherlands. He's fantastic assists from the side, from the front, from the back. He's an all-round fantastic blocker. One
advice for our viewers, set up your pacemakers because it's going to be like this until the very last seconds, I believe.
Yep.
Pablo Diablo for Tyne Fear versus Fish, and Pablo Diablo taking the lead for Newcastle.
Yogi Bear getting a penalty there, and he knew it. He was already getting up to go to the bin. Star is stashed by Fish. Lovely shoulder check to the inside ribs there. I believe 42, that was 42, is Badam.
It is the third lead jammer position in a row for Newcastle. Pablo Diablo takes on the inside and scores more points. And logically speaking, King Crazy is asking for a timeout for Manchester.
Yep, timeout there. Wise choice there, seems to lose a little bit of momentum. But whilst this timeout is ongoing, let me tell you all about Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch Skate Shop is the largest Derby-owned and operated store in Europe, operating online and actually having a physical store, heavily involved in the European derby community on a number of levels. Best known for our reliable service, honest advice, and competitive prices, as well as our top quality products and wide product range. And it's Sucker Punch Skate Shop at suckerpunchskateshop.com.
And we have people following us on Twitter. We have Tiddles saying time for Tyne Fear versus New World Order. I feel sick. Chill out, Tiddles, right? We have another tweet from Zero of Hyrule. Not sure which is better, almost blocking or almost put button. Yeah. And we have another Alif Fila who tweets nothing to roller derby. I think he believes the hashtag made for another thing, because he says, I miss you the second you leave. It has nothing to do with roller derby, but he takes MEQ, I think, for a personal story.
Maybe.
Yeah. So if by chance, Ali Fela, you're listening, we miss you as well.
Captain Roll's being called in here by Righteous Oxide. Looks like it's official timeout, not an official review.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and query what's going on.
It's not an official review, it's still an official timeout.
We have Manchester New World Order with 31. We are a quarter of a way through this.
So Malice is on the track to check what is going on. We have 14 minutes and 43 seconds left on the first half for the moment. Tyne Fear is leading 37 to 31. We had multiple lead changes since the beginning of that game. And Malice is back and is ready to provide us the information he gathered on that one. So, Malice, what's happening?
Well, Righteous just wanted to have a little chat with everyone, but nothing important. His words.
Manchester hasn't scored for the last 3 jams, and this time the team timeout seems to have worked since Ali Al is lead jammer. But he didn't believe he was lead jammer, so he went back on track just in time when number 44 from Tyne went out, and that's why he immediately called that off with no point scores on that jam.
Yeah, there's a little bit of frustration showing from Alien now. They didn't feel the call was quick enough, and his bench manager very clearly goes, zip your mouth.
But it's quite a good thing for Manchester, because Manchester haven't lead a jam for the last 3 ones, so it's a bit of a fresh air once again. Dark Matter number 1 versus Lieutenant Dam 0-4-2, and second lead jammer position in a row for Manchester.
Lieutenant Dam consistently, I believe, 3 jams, 3 lead jammers.
Definitely the team timeouts had consequences on Manchester's play.
And bad news for Newcastle, as Dark Matter is in the bin and Lieutenant Dam is dangerous on a power jam.
It's a power jam situation for Manchester.
And at corner 2, I believe a butterfly has landed on the inside line of the track, which is very, yep, there it goes.
Yep. And Manchester and Lieutenant Dam scores again. We are going to have another lead change at the scoreboard. 10 points so far for Lieutenant Dam.
Scooby Zoom in the mix there, offensively in the middle of the Newcastle Tyne tripod. Dark Matter now getting some assistance from Yorgi Bear, leading through. Oh my God, went for the shoulder but couldn't land it. Dark Matter span around him on the inside edge, completing his initial pass. That is 15 points to Lieutenant Dam.
Yeah, for the moment, it's been the record of points scored so far in a jam by Lieutenant Dam, on fire on that jam number 13. 15 points for the number 0-4-2. 17 points.
Lieutenant Dam, All-Ireland Men's Roller Derby captain, I believe.
Yep. It's another lead change. 48 for Manchester now, 37 for Tyne.
Again, this is a very interesting tactic that New World Order utilised. Their pivot drops right back to the jam line to offense off the whistle, and sometimes it works amazingly, but not here, as Omar took a big stumble, and Moo got lead jammer with ease.
And you're right, and in the meantime, Moo to the lead jammer position for Tyne, breaking the pace of Manchester on that one, and Moo on the inside goes that off after having scored, I believe, 4 points for Tyne.
But credit where credit's due, number 6 Rufio picking up 3 from the disadvantaged position, and a lot of that came from distractions on Moo because of the blocking. He wasn't aware of what his benchmark was informing him.
It's 41 for Tyne, 51 for Manchester. You were right. Once again, when you are not lead jammer, you can still score points, and it's exactly what Rufio did.
Oh, we've got a lot of... Yep, Pablo Diablo picking up a legal procedure for starting before the whistle. And Fish gets lead jammer. This
is a power jam for Manchester. Manchester is leading by 10 points.
Don Giovanni peels off man-shaped dog on the inside. Fish using Hugo Boss to pivot around and calls.
5 points for Manchester, now leading 56-41. A bit of a gap. I believe there has never been such a gap in that game so far.
This may be the one, but Hugo Boss unfortunately was sacrificed by Fish there and gave up a forearms penalty, peeling off around the Newcastle blocker. And Pablo Diablo has more than 10 seconds left in the box, so we should see Alien now on a decent power jam start here.
It is clearly a momentum for Manchester. On the last 3 jams, they scored 25 points overall.
Alien now hops, but gets popped off the inside, I believe, by Nicholas Rage. Alien now takes the outside. Nicholas Rage with the chase down, but can't stop him.
Lead jammer for Alinal for Manchester. Alinal in the scoring trip now. The pack is organizing. Blackbeard is trying to block. Alinal, beautiful jump He was on the outside, he got back on the inside and immediately jumped to score 4 more points for Manchester. Clearly, Manchester has raised the level of play.
I think they a very tactically astute team, and they looked at what the options were giving to them from Tyne and Fear, and they've learned from the first 20 minutes or so, and now changing their tactics slightly. Pablo Diablo here on a scoring pass, but New World Order allowing him. Lovely work by Blockbeard.
Just in front of us. But it's a cutting for Alien Al, sent to the penalty box. It's a power jam situation for Tyne and Fear, and another 2-minute jam, which might be important for Tyne and Fear to get back at Manchester.
This is very true. Tactically speaking, they want to take full advantage of long jams and tire out New World Order, who did not use their timeouts, all of them in the first game.
Yep. And we will see the consequences that Manchester timeout had on their gameplay. Maybe it would be a good idea for Tyne and Fear just right after that to take a timeout. Well, let's see what they can do. But for the moment, you have Pablo Diablo in a power jam situation that has just ended as Alien Al is back. Scored 4 more points.
And Alien Al's going jammer on jammer here, just playing with Pablo Diablo a little bit.
It's for the moment 10 points for Pablo Diablo and 4 for Alien Al, but Alien Al just got Pablo Diablo out of the track, just winning the precious seconds
and
once
picking
again.
up a point as Gayforts came back to help out Pablo Diablo. Sorry, 2 points, and gave away a point there. It's quite interesting.
So it's 6 points for Manchester on the previous jam, 10 points for Tyne and Fear. It's now 51 for Tyne and Fear, 62 for Manchester.
This is following a similar pattern to the previous game they had at British Champs, where they were consistently just stretching out a little bit of lead, but never quite dominating the gameplay, which meant that the game was close enough. And hopefully they can see this one out at the end. Otherwise, they'll be kicking themselves on the end of it.
Lieutenant Dam is leading that one for Manchester. He was close to Kamikenzi. Lieutenant Dam is already in the scoring trip and approaching the pack now. Oh, good job by Lieutenant Dam on the outside and immediately calling that off.
That was just a lovely little shoulder shrug. Faked dog to the inside, went to the outside.
4 more points for Manchester, now leading 66 to 51 still for Tyne and Fear. It's quite impressive actually. Look at the statistics. Manchester has scored on the last 5 jams. Clearly they keep their momentum going up.
This is one of the most important things you find amongst roller teams, is that momentum.
And it's been 3 jams since Tyne and Fear haven't led. It's now Dark Matter versus Rufio.
Rufio there with a lovely little hip check on Dark Matter just as they were approaching the pack. Took momentum out of him. Rufio also being recycled back. Dark Matter takes the outside. Lovely screen there again from Bull.
And this is it after 3 jams lost by Tyne and Fear. It's a power jam situation and a lead jammer position for Tyne and Fear as Rufio is sent to the penalty box.
Dog and Dark Matter here trying to get through the pack. Dog knocked to the outside and goes for a low block himself. Dark Matter still trying to fight his way through. He's got Bull with him this time for the offensive assistance.
Last time that Newcastle had a power jam, they didn't score many points, but this time Dark Matter passed the pack and scored 5 more points, immediately called that jam off, just to have a power start situation on the next one.
I think not just the power start, I think they feel that Rufio may be the weak link. He's not really had much impact and picked up a few penalties. So they could think that the longer they can keep him on track, the more they can get rid of him. So it could be, again, long-term planning by a very intelligent team.
This is all about strategies, my friend. Now only 10-point difference, and Moo is starting that jam number 19 for Tyne and Fear.
As that strong...
Rufio is back.
Yeah, that strong brace 3 showing him. Moo losing all momentum on him straight away. Popped off to the outside by Hugo Boss. Rufio inbounds, upright and fine.
I believe that Rufio, yes, is lead jammer on that jam number 19 for Manchester.
Don Gingiovanni takes a 4-arms penalty as Moo takes a stumble at the back. Rufio completes his first scoring pass and 5 points. Dog with the pivot penalty at the front trying to indicate the star pass, but Moo had kept it on his hat. Scooby Zoom back on track. Oh, sorry, Scooby Zoom back on the front of the track. I was going to say as he slips his shoulder through Badam. Rufio staying safe in the middle.
Oh,
Pop.
good defending by Tyne.
Yes,
Look at
very
that
good.
way. The number 82 dog closed the inside of turn 3.
The dog, a very experienced skater as well.
But Rufio is still on the track, fighting and shouldering his way through on the outside. But he was just being recycled by Barnabash.
Barnabash, yeah.
He has already scored 5 points, but he wants more.
Who wouldn't want more points, Rockefeller?
Yeah, moves out in his scoring trip now. And Rufio saw it, that's why he immediately called that jam off. And it's 4 more points for Manchester, so it's 9 on that jam number 19.
A little bit of a conversation between Moo and his jam referee there. I'm not sure the content of it.
Yeah. We have a shout out on Twitter from, once again, 050, saying that he thinks that Dam might have put little rockets on his bonds. Hashtag lighter, hashtag stronger, hashtag faster.
I believe Lieutenant Dam is quite a fan
Yep.
of hashtags.
Yep. And we also need fans here because it's getting hot in here.
Well, I have my little portable fan.
Oh, I'm so jealous of you.
I recently bench managed the Manchester Royal Derby Furies in Madrid. It was
That's why I know what it was.
33 degrees, but no humidity, and I needed this for this weekend.
I remember that 2 years ago, my league, the Lutèce Destroyers, organized a tournament in Paris in July, and we had the Birmingham Blitz team coming over. It was 42 degrees Celsius inside. They basically forfeited because they couldn't play. They just couldn't play. And believe us, it's really hot in there.
The heat is one thing, the humidity is another.
Yeah, Dark Matter versus Fish.
Yep.
Both.
Both.
Jam number 20.
Yeah, and Fish takes that lead jammer.
Second lead jammer position in a row for Manchester.
Fish isn't far, Dark Matter isn't far behind Fish, about maybe a third of the track. Fish on his scoring pass just has to get into that pack. He is calling it. Did he call it in time?
Good defending by Nicholas Rage.
Yes.
1 point scored only by Fish.
Yeah, it's very worth noting that Tyne and Fear's defense is aggressive. It's not a passive defense. It's not going to contain you. It's going to make you stop.
And once again, I believe this has been the largest gap on defense so far. 20 points difference. And Manchester leading by 20 points. 76 for Manchester, 56 for Tyne and Fear.
3 minutes left on the clock.
And the set with Cammy Kenzie for Tyne and Fear. And
Lieutenant Dam, who's trying to find a way, does spinning around Nicholas Rage at corner 1.
And Newton Dam lead jammer on that one.
Oh, quadra kill comes screaming out from corner 1, gets a hip check on Cammy Kenzie, but can't do enough to stop him. Oh, he came from nowhere.
Yeah, that was impressive to watch. In the meantime, it is the third lead jammer position in a row for Manchester, but Newton Dam has just been sent to the penalty box, once again losing the lead jammer position benefits. It's going to be another 2-minute jam. Did you see the penalties he was awarded?
I did not see. The 3 of them have all picked up penalties, and it's like any one of them awarded, usually the action generally going on track. Quadra wasn't happy that Nicholas Rage went to block him as he was trying to leave the track, which was this might be one of those things that might cause those heads to start being lost, and both teams need to really maintain their discipline.
That's the perfect opportunity for Tyne Field to get back a bit at Manchester, and this is exactly what Cammy Kenzie is doing, just closing the gap between the two teams. Now 7-point difference only. Cammy Kenzie has scored 13 points so far, but Newton Dam is back after the 30-second suspension.
And as I said, it's high risk but high reward. When it goes in his favor, he can rack up points very quickly.
Oh, Mackenzie tried on the inside, but good defending by Scooby. And he's recycled by Quadra kill. And 4 more points for Newton Dam. Widening the gap a bit more between Manchester and Newcastle.
And that's 5.
5 or more for Newton Dam.
And interestingly, that's when Nicholas Rage picked up a penalty. A very, very important blocker, I thought, for Tyne and Fear today.
9 points so far for Newton Dam. This is the end of the jam. 13 points so far for Newcastle. Let's see how many points are going to be awarded. No points on the last scoring trip for Manchester. And it's going to be an official review.
Yep, I am going to wander inside and see what King Crazy is going to complain about.
2 points more for Tyne and Fear. is going to be 15 points for Tyne on the very last jam, 85 for Manchester at the scoreboard. Yeah, and more points. So 86 for the moment for Manchester. They scored 10 points in the very last jam, and 15 points scored so far for on the last jam for Tyne. So 71. 15 points difference. This is quite a good thing for Tyne because they hadn't scored on the last 2 previous jams before. So in the meantime, as Malice is in the official review, I'm just going to check your tweets on hashtag MEQ on Twitter. Let's see whether there are new ones. No new ones. The last one being of Zero of High Roll 6 minutes ago. So please send your love and support to whoever you want on hashtag MEQ on Twitter. 15-point difference so far. This is nothing, absolutely nothing in roller derby. And 53 seconds left on the first half. Malice is still in the middle, so I am all by myself on that one, and I don't want to be. And I'm sorry for having stuck the song into your head. So this is the result of the official review right now in front of my eyes. And Malice is going to come back very quickly. Let me have a sip of water before. They seem to have a good laugh. So let's check what it's going to be on that official review. So Malice is coming back. I wonder why Malice is laughing that much. I'm sure he's going to tell us on the microphone. So why you were laughing so hard, Malice?
Oh, poor Righteous upside. He, as he came back to field the decision, he saw myself and Very Cherry both dressed in black, assumed we were the Tyne and Fear bench and captain, and he said, I just saw two people in black and thought they were Tyne and Fear. It's like, and of course Marek went.
So what about the official review then?
The official review is very simple. King Crazy believed that Lieutenant Dam had passed his hips past Black 8-2 and therefore should have been given a point for Black 8-2 and for Black 8-3 who was in the box. The hips were in line but not passed.
In the meantime, we have Moo versus Anin Al's jammer, and Anin Al took the lead, passed the pack and called that jam off. It's been the fourth jam in a row that Manchester is leading, so it's 90 for more points, 90 for Manchester, 71 for Tyne and Fear. Quite a good end of the first half for Manchester. Once again, they seem to have got by the momentum again.
And Roy McKenzie at Sat Home is very impressed with Lieutenant Dan. He's having a blinder, and we cannot agree with you more. The points that are showing up on here are very impressive. So we are now at half-time. We'll be back with you in approximately 14 minutes and change. Scores stand at half-time. Tyne and Fear on 71.
That is the 30 seconds. You say it, girl. Hiya. I like your shoes. So now I am next to Manchester, which means that I will be less Newcastle biased. And it looks like we are starting with an absolutely empty penalty box, which means 4 blockers for one, 4 blockers for another, 2 jammers. That's how roller derby works. And the pack is here. Let's go. And Darmatter goes for a little look at the whiteboard.
Is dropped back here and dragged back strong. 3 wall, but Darmatter finds space on the outside. Does he get lead jammer? Scooby Zoom can't do enough. Just slows him down, but not off track. Fish pot to the inside there by Nicholas Rage, who's having a great game.
And you see he has a wonderful technique of skating because he managed to stay on the track as he was flipping around. Good technicality from Dark Matter.
Dark Matter screening off the chest of Gay Fawkes, gets up his first scoring pass at 5. Gay Fawkes picks up an elbows penalty, and now he is on 6.
Hard zone for Gay Fawkes.
Yeah, Nicholas Rage in the bin as well. So 2 blockers in front of Fish, who now makes his way out, completing his initial pass. Dark Matter shrugged off at corner 4.
The first points of the second half have been scored by Dark Matter and Tyne in the second scoring trip, and he saw that Fish was coming over. That's why he decided to call off that jam. Any more points for Manchester, for Newcastle? Yes, 4 more points. It's like 9 points on the 8 points on that first jam. 3 more points on the last scoring trip. 79 for Tyne 90 for Manchester. It's getting closer.
And if you saw there, 8-2 pivot dog sent to the bin at the end of that jam. So number 50 Tank is all by himself with 4 blockers for Newcastle. Sorry, for New World Order in front of him.
And I believe that he doesn't want to be.
Right.
Just once again to stick the song in everyone's head. And Alien Al easily jamming on that one.
And he's already on his scoring pass. Bull gets in front of Nicholas Rage, though, with the recovery block. Tries to slow him down, but can't stop him. Alien Owl picks up those first points. I believe that is 5 in the sky.
Alien Owl is in the second scoring trip now, having scored 5 points more for Manchester, and is back to fight after beautiful defending from Gay Fawkes.
Yeah, there's a lovely shrug to the inside by Gay Fawkes. Must be very careful now. He is on 6.
And Alien Owl calls it off. 2 more points for Manchester on the last scoring trip.
Honours even on that last scoring trip. 2 points for Shugs, and 2 points from Shugs and 2 points from Kirby.
It's 81 for Tyne, 97 for Newcastle. I can't believe that we are 2 jams away in the second half, and both of the teams haven't scored more than 100 points. That shows that it's a very close game, and a good work from the blockers as well.
Oh, of course. I mean, both these teams are, I think, personally, defensively stronger than they are offensively. They're both very good blocking teams. I think that shows here with the limited scoring opportunities for both teams. As Mackenzie, he does pick up the cut track, and again, Tyne and Fear giving away power jams to Lieutenant Dan.
Power jam to Lieutenant Dan.
But no,
he's being sent to the penalty box as well, so there's going to be another 2-minute jam.
And there's 1:30 left of this.
Yeah, Cammy Kenzie is back on the track in the power jam situation, this time for Newcastle.
Toe went out, and there comes the cut track call from Glenmore Angry. Right in front of us, he looked, he saw, whistle to lips, and out came the call.
So second penalty for Cammy Kenzie, and power jam now for Manchester with Lieutenant Dan.
Indeed, and I believe that's possibly the 4th, maybe the 5th penalty for Cammy Kenzie. I did take a photograph of the penalty board at half time.
I did. Let me check. I just did.
Penalty picking up there by Donji Giovanni as Lieutenant Dan is recycled to the back of the pack.
No, Cammy Kenzie only made 1 penalty in the first half. So
I thought he was in the box more often than that. When he listens to this in the future, I'm sorry I thought so highly, so lowly of you there.
And in the meantime, the power jam has ended. Still Cammy Kenzie and Lieutenant Dan in a full 2-minute jam now.
Yeah, there was a very tight scrum there at corner 1, which allowed Mackenzie to skip through unfazed.
5 points for Lieutenant Dan, and Cammy Kenzie is about to score all the points for Newcastle at 4 points only. Dam is in his second scoring trip now.
Notice here that New World Order's blockers are not together, and Cammy Kenzie is getting through with ease. Tyne and Fear have disrupted New World Order here.
And let us check the scoreboard. It's 99 points scored by Tyne and Fear, 90 for Tyne and Fear, 104 for Manchester. 7 points scored for Manchester.
So 14 points differential currently.
And let's have the upcoming jam number 4 with Rufio for Manchester facing Dark Matter.
Rufio trying to take the inside line there and skips the outside, takes that lead jammer. Dark Matter with 1 to beat on the shoulder of Oh My God. Mac Bauer gets into assist. They've sandwiched him, trying to push him off the inside, and they do. Rufio popped up to the inside as well as Dark Matter recycles himself back.
And believe it or not, with the power jam situation and reverse power jam that we had in the previous jams, this is the first lead jammer position for Manchester in the second half. Oh, nice one.
Nearly
From
takes out.
Rufio.
Yeah, he nearly did take out Oh My God there. One real thing to think about here is men's roller derby is sweaty. It's even the best of times, and this is very warm. This gets sweatier and sweatier.
I'm quite amazed at the pace that the Newcastle pack is reforming. They are really good at recycling and reforming also very, very quickly. Rufio is having quite a hard time to pass that pack on that first scoring trip.
But here he is, he gets past with that no pass, no penalty, now gets past ball.
And this time it's on for Rufio, 5 more points and he calls it off. It's 109. No, 4 more points. Five more points, so it's 109 definitely for Manchester. And still 90 for Tyne.
Dark Matter here moving a little bit slowly, but under his own power. He did take a flailing arm to the face. And I think it was a secondary contact on corner 3. Did, I think, disrupt his rhythm a little bit, but he's okay. He's moving.
And here we are for the next jam. I couldn't see it's number 05 Fish taking the lead for Manchester. Once again, Manchester seems to start the momentum on their own at the start of the second half. And Fish was facing Moo for Tyne.
Yeah,
and Moo is out.
He is. Donjon Giovanni going to the bin there for a forearms penalty.
Moo is out, but Fish is a bit ahead and just being recycled. I think he hasn't seen Moo passing over, because I'm sure that he would have called the end of that jam, but Fish still wants to fight and takes on the outside to take 4 more points. He took quite of a risk, but it paid off for Manchester.
I think probably it might be tactical. They want to get Donjon Giovanni out of the box. They'll know they need to keep as many blockers on track as possible. But there, they've just lost Hugo Boss there to a multiplayer.
And Fish is in the second scoring trip now, taking the outside and scoring more points. Let's see it at the scoreboard. There has never been such gap between Manchester and Tyne so far.
Yeah, the best differential they've had so far is a 20-point positive gap.
And now it's 23.
Yep.
And Fish still has it all on that jam number 5.
Moo here stuck behind Quadrakill, who's having a very strong game. Donjon Giovanni, lovely hit check, knocking Moo off the outside. Gayforce coming in with a shoulder check onto Donjon Giovanni, who's still bracing Scooby Zoo.
Quadrakill tried to assist Fish on the outside, but it didn't work. And the good blocking from Tyne forced Fish to pull off that jam with 4 more points in the pockets for Tyne and 2 more points for Fish. So it's 119 for Manchester, 98 for Tyne.
Interesting tactical choices there. I mean, realistically, that's a +2 jam, really, for New World Order. They could have ended up early with a +4 or one of the situation, but I think they were trying to keep that penalty box empty.
Yeah.
And there may also have been some Machiavellian, shall we say, tactics, being that Gay Fawkes was on track and I was getting kind of frantic, maybe hoping they can get a foul out nice and early, maybe disrupt morale here as well. These are things that all could be options in the Machiavellian mind of King Crazy.
I just wanted to ask you a question. Do you think that Manchester players are animated by some kind of a revenge mind concerning the game that they lost by 5 points?
Being that Manchester is my home league, and the fact that
That's why I'm asking,
of course, well, I've skated with and I've known most of these guys for quite a while. Revenge isn't what the motivation is here. For them, it's the fact that they felt they should have won that game.
Yep.
And I think they want to make them do what they should have done the first time correctly. And there was also some concerns, I should put, about certain refereeing decisions they felt were wrong and went against them unfairly. So I think this is a lot more of it is about getting the result for themselves more than it is about getting revenge on their opponents.
Let's see whether that's going to change in the next jam. We have Kenny Kenzie for Tyne versus Alien L for Manchester.
Yeah, Alien L trying to run that inside line, shut down. Offense coming in from Smack Power though. Disruption. There's only 2 blocks in front of us. Alien now bulled down off track by Barnabash, and there very wisely Bull runs him all the way back. That is what we call a worth it penalty.
But Alien Al seems to be a bit of injured. He was touching his back.
Yeah.
Maybe it will have some consequences. Mackenzie is in no pass, no penalty, so the lead jammer position is not open because he removes the helmet cover, so we're going to have a full 2-minute jam in jam number 6.
Yeah, and it's worth knowing Alien Al was rested for the first game, so he should be the freshest jammer in New World Order's arsenal.
Look at the way and passed the pack for the first time on the inside of 10-2.
And Blockbeard going for a direction of gameplay penalty there.
Oh, good defending by Dog and Bull.
Dog and Bull, that's a dangerous combination, blocking at the front.
Is it better than Bulldog?
Bulldog's not so much of an amazing blocker, but a fantastic announcer. As Mackenzie picks up a penalty for a low block.
I had the chance to announce with him like 3 years ago. It was a wonderful time. But in the meantime, the man who is having a wonderful time on the track is Alien Al, even if he had been just gotten out of the track. Back on it. And Alien Al has already scored 9 points in its power jam situation since Cami Kenzie has just been sent to the penalty box. It's clearly a momentum from Manchester on that one, but because look at the scoreboard now, Manchester has more than 30 points advance on the scoreboard.
And they're going to keep trying to rack them up here. Mackenzie comes screaming in. Did he get points on that pass? Waiting for Shred's Bunny. He does indicate, I think it's 3?
It's 3 for Tyne Fear.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's 133 for Manchester. No, 3 more points. So it's being 136 for Manchester. With
101 for Tyne and Fear.
Yeah, 17 points, 22 points, 141, 22 points scored for Manchester.
And it's an official timeout here.
So 141 for Manchester, 101 for Tyne and Fear. A clean 40-point difference. But still, it has been the biggest point difference so far in that game.
This is the thing we have to remember. New World Order had a 19-point difference going into the last jam at the British Champs game. And Moo, to his credit, a 24-point jam. You've got to factor into these things. You look at the history of men's roller derby, the scores that have been posted in single jams. We've had a 39-point jam, I believe, in Nanaki of Southern Discomfort roller derby.
So are you saying that nothing has ever said anything rough?
With a differential this low, of course.
Yeah, definitely. So stay tuned, derby people, on the stream, and send us your love and support for the players or whoever you want to be on the hashtag MEQ.
And on that, let's talk about Quad Roller Skate Shop, because we love this game. Quad is Europe's original brick and mortar roller derby skate shop with the best selection and the most stock on the continent. We know skates so you don't have to. Our customer service is the best from Derby Skaters. Come see us online or in store for all your derby needs. Hashtag Quad Berlin.
I love your voice. You love your voice, Malice. You're so made up for it.
I have a voice for radio, that's what it is. I think it's a face for radio as well, but definitely the voice for radio.
If you want to talk to Malice, press 2.
Be careful, my fiance is very, very aggressive.
Oh, sorry about that.
She is listening at home and probably threatening to cut people right now.
She would find me less adorable.
No, she did say it very adorable. Really? We have a delay of gameplay penalty issued to Dark Matter.
Aha. Interesting. Interesting.
I'm going to go and find out why.
So let's have the jam number 7 here with I can see the numbers. Yes, Moo for Tyne and Fear, and Yittendam for Manchester, and Yittendam is taking the lead for the Mancunian team. Clearly, Manchester is getting a grip on the start of the second half as Yittendam is in the lead jammer position and trying to find this, to sneak in the tiny single hole on the inside of the track to score 5 more points for Manchester. So tell us, Malice, what happened on the last jam?
Well. The Tyne and Fear bench manager was on track when the whistle went,
That's why.
which means a penalty was assessed against the captain, Dark Matter, who tried to official review it but could not because he should have been in the bin.
Bad Jody.
Oh.
And here we are in the meantime. Litton Dan has already scored 10 points for Manchester. As you were away, Malice, I was just saying that clearly Manchester is getting the grip on the start of the second half.
I think not just on Manchester getting the control of the game here, but I think Tyne and Fear is struggling to up that gear to match them.
And it's going to be a full 2-minute jam as Litton Dan is sent to the penalty box for a cutting.
And he may start the next jam in the bin as he's only sitting down now with 25 seconds left on the clock.
It's now number 50, Bull, taking the start pass for Tyne and Fear.
And Bulls into Don Gingiovanni and comes to a complete stop. And here we got a big swarm offense from Tyne and Fear.
Litton Dan has already scored 10 points before being sent to the penalty box. And this is the end of the jam. Let's see how many points. Tyne and Fear scored 4 more points for Tyne and Fear.
And the Dan picked up a further 3 on top of the 10 he'd already scored. Nicholas Rage picked up a skating out of bounds penalty, I believe, there at the DF. So he's off to the bin.
16 minutes and 6 seconds to go before the end of the game, and it's a 49-point advantage for Manchester. It's a power start situation for Tyne and Fear. If Tyne and Fear want to get back at Manchester, they have to do it right now.
And that's what they want, the high risk but high reward jammer that is Cam McKenzie.
Cam McKenzie is lead jammer on that jam number 8.
Yep, there it is. But Dam is out, and straight past Blockbeard. Cam McKenzie on his scoring pass, got a scrum of players in front of him.
Which is a bit of a performance because Tyne and Fear hadn't led a jam for the last 4-1, but McKenzie is set to the penalty box. We're going to have another 2-minute jam in a power jam situation for Manchester.
Now, these are the kind of jams where you really need to think about utilizing the star pass. I mean, you've got to concern yourself with possibly tiring out a blocker. But you don't. Do you want to, really ruin the cardio of one of your key jammers at the same time? This is a risk versus reward situation here to be considered.
I'm also amazed by the good assist on that one from Omagad, allowing Litton Dan to pass the pack once again.
Yeah. Omagad had a fantastic game against Pan Am. His first this morning was phenomenal. He, Veggie Cray, and I believe Smack Bauer, all kind of.
I was announcing that game on stream, and I remember mentioning him quite a few times on the first game, right?
Yeah, he and Veggie are very, very powerful, very, very well-aimed shoulder checks that can cause huge disruption.
4 more points for Manchester Litton Dan on that hard jam, which has just ended as McKenzie is back on the track, have scored 4 more points. He was sent to the penalty box in the scoring trip. That's why he's able to score points as soon as he gets back on the track. And it's 4 more points for Litton Dan.
But he did not get the fire. There was a no pass, no penalty in there. Smack Bauer stops him on corner 2.
Oh, good defending by Smack Bauer. And on the inside, Litton Dan again, 5 more points. Once again, I announced on the stream the first one, and I mentioned quite a few times Litton Dan is having, for the moment, quite a crazy weekend.
He is having a phenomenal game, and this is a huge differential posted here. We have a 61-point lead for New World Order versus Tyne and Fear, and Tyne and Fear wisely are calling a timeout here.
And 23 points scored, and I believe this has been the record of the day so far.
I would not know. There was a
in the previous game.
There was a 25-point jam, I think, in the first game.
No, the first game was 24. Oh, so it's not the record actually. It's 23 only.
Close, but no cigar for Lieutenant Dan there.
Still, it's 116 for Tyne and Fear, 177 for Manchester with 13 minutes and 43 seconds to go. Even if nothing is ever settled in rock in road derby, It's starting to smell good in the kitchen for Manchester, right?
I'm going to have a lot of my friends back home very, very happy with this as to how it's going. But let's just talk quickly about the MRDA. This is the MRDA men's, MRDA European qualifiers here. The MRDA entrusted us this year to welcome this wonderful event in our beautiful city of Toulouse. That's a collaboration we are grateful for and hope to be able to do again.
You know what, Manis? I've got a warning on Twitter. I've got Stephen Turner saying, "Don't mess with UC fiance. Honest."
She is frightening. She is frightening.
She is.
Yeah.
I'm so looking forward to meeting her.
Well, she believes you're adorable. Shut the fuck
Yeah,
up. So,
yeah.
we'll have to invite you to the wedding. We'll even put some of your favorite music on for you.
Will there be cake?
Of course.
Oh, yeah. So I'm coming then. So we are approaching jam number 9. Only, I would say, jam number 9 with 13 minutes to go.
Yes, we've had a lot of very long jams so far this morning, but Dark Matter gets lead jammer here. First one for a while, I believe, for Tyne and Field. They're going to hopefully be able to get some impact.
Second lead jammer
Oh,
position in
second.
a row.
Oh, of course, Mackenzie went to the bin, didn't
Yep.
he? That's the confusion. Rufio struggling here at the back. Thinks he's lead. He's not lead. Confusion there for Rufio. I believe he's so used to his team having leads.
That's what I was about to say. But this is really Dark Matter being lead jammer on that one at the very right moment for Tyne and Fear. Once again, if they want to get back at Manchester, this has to happen right now. And each time I'm saying that sentence, the jammer for Newcastle is going to the penalty box. This is called the announcer's curse.
This is the announcer's curse. We also had a star pass there to Scooby Zoom in there, and Dark Matter's gone to the bin for his forearms. And Scooby Zoom's probably regretting this. He doesn't like to jam that much anymore, and now he's got a minute to do it.
Hey, we have a theory on Twitter. I will tell the theory after that. Scooby is sent to the penalty box at his turn after receiving the star pass. And this is a power jam situation for Tyne and Fear. I was saying we have a theory on Twitter from Zero of High Roll saying that New World Order clearly don't want a repeat of the British champs, making that score gap as big as possible.
Yeah, they have to be certain of this win. I mean, as they have said, they know this is their final. They win this game, they just have to beat one of their 2 remaining games, which is Toulouse or
Lincoln
Lincoln Thunder. And they've beaten Lincoln Chirola Thunder already this year.
Yeah. They will have 9 fingers and maybe 2 feet in Cardiff if they win that game.
Yeah. Well, this is should they beat Lincoln and Tyne and Fear win their remaining game today.
Look at that, 14 points scored by Tyne and Fear.
But still 10.
And no, I think it's going to be 14 still. Look at the scoreboard.
No, the double donut's being indicated by the jam referees. They didn't get there in time.
But still, 14-10, 130 for Tyne and Fear, 187 for Manchester.
Yeah.
And we can see that jam has had a lovely effect on the scoreboard. Manchester with 187.
This was one of the things that was theorized here by the way the games are falling out. That should Newcastle lose here, they will have to beat Toulouse in the final game of the tournament to have a chance of going to Cardiff.
That's going to be also another impressive game on this weekend so far. I'm still waiting for that game between Manchester and Toulouse. It's going to be impressive, I think.
Manchester and Toulouse tomorrow, and Tyne and Fear versus Toulouse tomorrow are both being very, very interesting games.
And Fish, in the meantime, has taken the lead and called off that jam. No points scored for Tyne and Fear. Will there be any points scored for Manchester? The referees are having a chat about that, I'm sure of it.
Well, for those of you watching at home, I can see that Sui Cider was asking what happened to Pablo. Well, if you look to the jam line, you will see my favorite jammer, Pablo Diablo. He's going to be lined against Lieutenant Dan.
No points scored for Manchester. So it's still 187, 130.
Pablo Diablo straight onto the shoulders of Hugo Boss and Don Giovanni, but Pablo Diablo breaks through. Here comes the momentum. He gets through, he gets lead. He's down, he's back up, and Quadrikel with the shoulder, but he can't slow him down.
Oh, we love those fights.
Yeah. Pablo Diablo, are you aware of the Juggernaut from the X-Men comics?
No, oh yeah.
Once he has momentum, he's nearly unstoppable, and that is Pablo Diablo.
And Pablo Diablo is in his current trip now, Dam is right behind him, approaching the back right now. And Pablo Diablo saw it. That's why he called off that jam.
Yeah, wise.
He scored
wise.
2 points. So it's 1-3-2 for Tyne and Fear, and still 1-8-7 for Manchester. Manchester hasn't scored for the last 2 jams.
There's a 55-point differential with 9 minutes and change left on the clock.
We are entering the money time in roller derby as if we were paid.
We have Alien Al versus Cam McKenzie. Cam McKenzie takes the outside line, runs into some strong blocking. It's on the shoulder of Veggie Crane. Oh my god, shrugs him to the ground. Cloud strike Veggie Crane. Lovely screen there from Dog. Gets Cam McKenzie out for lead jammer.
Second lead jammer position in a row for Newcastle.
Dog trying to slow down Alien Al, but Alien Al spins away on the outside edge of corner 2. Good screening offense from Dog again, showing his experience. He gets Cam McKenzie out.
And McKenzie has already scored 4 points, but also 4 points for Alien Al.
Well, you're looking at this really here for Tyne and Fear. They're going to need to start trying to cause jammer penalties.
Yeah. And this is it for Cam McKenzie. 4 more points, 8-4 so far on that jam number 12.
But you see here, Tyne and Fear have slowed down Alien Al, captured him at the back, and now Cam McKenzie's got an option, a possibility to pick up 5.
And 50 seconds left on that jam. 8 points so far for Tyne and Fear for Manchester. Oh, good resistance, a good job once again from Omagad. But Omagad was in the penalty.
He went off track, so there's the no pass and
Yeah,
no
no
pen.
pass, no penalty.
That toe drag, I had a little bit of worry the way when Cam McKenzie's toe drag went there.
Oh, and I'll try to get McKenzie down, but he couldn't make it.
Cam McKenzie, a very, very sturdy jammer when he wants to be.
And Cam McKenzie is out of the track. And so it's enough for him going off that jam. 3 more points for Cam McKenzie, 15 for Cam McKenzie, and I think still 8 for Al.
No, look, there goes 3 more points, 11.
Oh yeah, that's 3, yeah.
So again, I understand the logic behind it, trying to keep Al on track, to try and force a penalty or catch something there, but just a +4 differential in the end, and that's what really matters. That differential needs to be bigger for Tyne and Fear.
That's called taking risk, and sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't.
Exactly.
Rufio for Manchester facing Dark Matter for Tyne and Fear. And Rufio takes the lead for Manchester on that jam number 13.
Dark Matter recycled to the back of the pack. 4 blockers still in front of him. Blockbeard trying to run some offense on there, but he's literally half the weight of Hugo Boss, and Hugo Boss shrugs him off like nothing.
Once again, good job from Bull, trying to contain Rufio, and this time also Nicholas Rage containing Rufio and getting him out and forcing him to call the end of that jam. We have a message from Zero of High Wall saying, some say after Top Gear, the Stig decided to play roller derby from Newcastle. Hashtag Pablo. And in the meantime, Manchester has reached more than the 200 limits. 203 for Manchester, 147 for Tyne and Fear.
We have 5 minutes and change left on the clock. And King Crazy there with my own loved method of killing the clock, waiting until almost the last second to call a timeout, knowing that you're pretty much going to waste that 4:30 here.
Exactly, I can see many benches doing that.
Clock management is very important and underutilized. So let's talk about Sergeant Papers. Sergeant Papers, the rock and roll printer of Toulouse. They're here not only to help us print the posters, flyers, but also to create our t-shirts, postcards, and all our merchandising. Personalize all your visuals for any support with Sergeant Papers. And if you're here watching and listening to us, which I don't understand why you would be when Very Cherry is announcing, but they're probably here somewhere at the games waiting to be asked for all the wonderful things they do.
Let's have a look at the penalty balls on the stream here. You can see it. Gay Folks is still 6 for Tyne and Fear. We have Mackenzie with I believe, 4 penalties. And also Nicolas Rage with 4 penalties as well.
And if you're unlucky enough to be able to see the New World Order bench in the background of the shot, you will see that Alien Hour has decided that wearing his t-shirt is no longer a necessity for him.
And look at that, we have a bit more than 5 minutes left on that game, and we are on only jam number 14 upcoming. That means that the jams were very, very, very
We
long.
had a lot of jammer penalties in this second half compared to the first half.
Fish taking the lead for Manchester.
Yes, and we have Moo at the back with 2 in front of him and 2 in front of the Tyne and Fear wall, but Fish gets through with ease, picking up 5 points.
Look at that, Manchester hadn't taken the lead on the last 7 jams, and it's the first time since 7 jams that Manchester took the lead. Good work by Fish.
Yeah. It's also a misconduct penalty for Moo, possibly engaging whilst in the air. Got to have all 8 wheels on the deck.
And the power jam situation then for Manchester. And Fish getting on the inside of turn 3, taking another 5 for the Mancunian team.
This, as you said, may now be set in rock. There may be no other options here because that is a large differential. I do not see New World Order throwing this away now.
Yeah, clearly Manchester is playing beautifully on that second half, and Fish has it all on that jam number 14.
He gets another 5 here, and that's going to be the highest scoring jam of the day.
And this is it.
It is
for Fish once again.
No,
4 points.
4 points. And an insubordination for Badam there, who changed his t-shirt, I believe, during the game.
I think that Fish might have the record of the highest number of points scored on a single jam, as he has passed once again, having scored 4 more points. It's now 28 points for Fish.
Well, that's 2 jams in a row without a no pass, no penalty indicated, where Fish was given 4 points, which is kind of interesting.
And look at the scoreboard, 5 more points. I believe it's going to be 33 points for Fish.
Yep.
This player is so important, we can call him Goldfish.
Oh, the golden fish. he is taken to jamming like a fish to water.
Oh yeah, I love that. In the meantime, Tyne Fear scored 4 points in 151 for Tyne Fear, 236 for Manchester. Manchester is only 15 points away from the 100-point difference. 15 points away from the 100-point difference.
This is phenomenal compared to the 5-point differential they managed earlier this year. Roy McKenzie, watching at home, has let me know that the penalty for me was for engaging a down skater.
Doc Matter took the lead versus Lieutenant Dan.
And Lieutenant Dan showing that track leadership, screaming at his teammates to bring the pace up. Confident that the pace is what will change this. And there we go, New World Order now taking the front position. Dark Matter knows this, and he's very much going to be looking A to possibly clear Badam out of the bin before he calls it.
But look at the strategy, the pack is advancing quite fast to prevent Dark Matter from scoring.
And Lieutenant Dam from the disadvantaged position, taking full advantage of the tired Newcastle blockers. I think we underestimated the conditioning of New World Order at the beginning of this game, and we questioned if they'd be able to keep this pace up, considering the earlier game. And they're proving here that they can.
But I mean, this is the risk you have when you play your first game and the other team hasn't played the game yet. You rely on the rhythm that you have, and you can try to continue that rhythm. I think you don't feel fatigue when you have already played the game before. I mean, you continue on the pace.
Well, these are a lot of experienced skaters for almost every team here who've played multi-game tournaments that you have played multiple times in a day. And it's part of conditioning to be able to play those sorts of frequent games.
240 for Manchester, 154 for Tyne Fear. Rufio in the next jam versus Kamikaze.
And Rufio being dragged all the way back by Barnabash. Kamikaze stuck in a brace 3 wall. Rufio spins though and takes the lead jammer down the inside straight away. Now you're going to have to imagine, looking at those scores, that they're going to want a plus 14-point differential.
Yes.
Go for that 100-point lead.
That's what I was about to say, that they may have that in mind, but look at that.
Star pass to Dog, who's shoved off track by Smack Bauer. And Kame Kenzie, not just the jammer, very wisely takes Smack Bauer off track for the no pass, no penalty.
Rufio stopped playing because Blackbird had lost a wheel on the track, so he was waiting for the referee to continue. But he continued, and he has already scored 4 points. And a beautiful apex jump for Rufio.
Plays to the crowd as Veggie Cray picks up a penalty towards the end there.
But Dog has scored as well. 4 points, 8 points for Rufio so far.
And there's Dog completing his 4 points.
Yep.
Rufio takes himself off track there.
Still 8-8 on that jam number 16. And look at that, jam number 16, and the clock is approaching 10 seconds left. Very long jams on that second half.
All of them, because of jammer penalties, lead jammer penalties.
And Dog has the end cover now after a star pass. 12 points for Tyne. And this is the unofficial score.
And if you look at the crowd who are here for New World Order, they know just how important this is. And if you look at Man-Shaped Dog on track, he knows just how much this loss means.
We're just waiting for the final score to be on. It's a clear 92-point difference, 250 for Manchester, 167.
For Tyne and Fear, that is
83-point difference.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm good at mathematics.
Yeah.
You know?
You've been doing the stats here. I'm trusting you all day. 80 after a 5-point differential earlier this year to now take an 83-point differential in the south of France. That is a huge score here.
This is final. This is final. This is official. Manchester 250 points. Tyne and Fear 167 points. What a game from the Mancunian team.
This is very not just the score differential itself, but scoring 250 points against Tyne and Fear is a big achievement. They are defensively a very strong team. Number 10 in the world against number 15 in the world, and the number 15 ranked team have just put a schooling on here. New World Order currently top of the table here with a differential in their favor of 274 points, which means Roller Derby Toulouse currently second with 1 win and a differential of plus 124 points. Must win by 154 points against Pan Am in the next game, I believe.
Exactly, it's going to be the French derby within Roller Derby, which I have the pleasure to announce in-house in French.
In French, en français.
Because we're in France, we speak French. Okay, my dear?
Yeah,
with a beautiful and a horrible French accent.
Oh, my French is awful, I apologize. I speak better German, I think, than French. I'm ashamed of myself. I've already spoken more Spanish this weekend than French because I keep forgetting.
I had the pleasure to announce that game with Malice.
It was wonderful. Thank you very much, Shut the Head Up. We'll be back approximately 31 minutes for Pan Am versus Toulouse.
Bye, Derby Peeps.
Bye-bye.